Theme song. Captain Annie heads into the very busy break room, checking in with everyone. Everyone seems to be eating their algae breakfasts okay, except for Dr. Thumbs, who's turned around near this window here and just vomited all over the floor, and then Captain Annie joins him, playing some video games, standing in the vomit. That's all right, Tanya's going to clean it up. Yes, another classic day here on Space Haven, or on the SCS, moving on up. But that's not what we're here to see. We're here to see Goom, 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 the SCS Lotus. Or, as it has been called, the Danger Moth. I think. Who's the person that called it that? Somebody called it a Danger Moth. Istvan called it a Terror Moth. Could also be a pretty good name. The Lotus is a very pretty name for a ship that will be surely the scourge. Did I say that right? Scourge of the seven seas. Now, getting started, the most important thing to do, of course, is to put down windows. The extra long window does look good, but it leaves a little gap. So I was thinking, like, what if we did these windows right here? Okay. Now this again, this is longer, and we were gonna do a docking port in here, weren't we? An airlock of some kind. Airlock. Does it actually work, is the question. It does. It fits. It looks like it fit by a bit, actually. We could even make that smaller if we wanted. Okay, Tank and Lyson making the windows right away. All right, relax, guys. Now, it is going to be a question of, do we put it there, on this side, or here? It does give us, like, if we put it here, that's a much more efficient access to the ship. However, we're only a few hallways away from the command center at that point. So this becomes a very fraught entrance, which we'll have to think about security in. In the meantime, let's get at least some windows here, because Lyson and Tank are looking for stuff to do, okay? And that's right, we are continuing on the building. I think we're just going to start getting it all designed out and ready to go here. Istvan also said, I don't know how many times I screamed internally for me to build a hull stabilizer. That was one thing we forgot. And I believe I remember asking you guys, hey, remind me if I'm missing anything. I mean, I guess you did then. I wasn't streaming, so there's no way you could have done that earlier. So thank you for letting me know that I was forgetting the hull stabilizer. So that'll at least give us a few hull points on the Lotus to last us while we attempt to get out of, like, the micrometeoroids that we run into. Now, this sector has fallen eerily quiet. I've been sitting here building for a while. We should have gone to this farming station, to be honest with you. We'll mine all of this, go to the farming station, and try to get some food for our people once this is up and running. But yeah, usually there were trade ships coming through here while I was building all the front piece of the Lotus, but I've not seen them in a while. Now, was that it's got a repair, so there's a hole in the window. That's not ideal. But I think we're all here for the same thing, which is to fully lay out this vessel. Now, if you're playing Space Haven, I know what you're thinking. You're going to want to, like, fly around. You're not going to look at walking in the dark. I love it. I love this game. I freaking love this game. I don't think I need to say that anymore, considering we're on episode 40, which is actually like episode 70 or something of Space Haven. But it's so good. So I think if you're going to play Space Haven, what I was going to say is you probably want to, like, build a little bit and get it flying and then add on while you're flying, because this is a lot of sitting still. This is going to be a tremendous amount of sitting still. So what I really should do is start, like, transferring everything over so these folks have something to do while we start building all these walls. I have started ordering all the infra blocks most of them over to this ship so that we can get started on building doors and stuff like that. Like, basically what the plan is to do the whole wall layout, and then from there, kind of fill it in with doors, then power. Once we have the power kind of sorted out, then it's oxygen time, and then we start filling this whole thing in. So I might get the power and the oxygen generators and the temperature stuff all done, then have it just ready to connect up to our power generators, which we are. I can never remember. Yeah, we've researched everything. Okay, good. I can never remember, like, what stream I'm playing right now. So the real question is, do we want a hallway on the inside or homes on the inside, like rooms. And I think it's going to be a double wide hallway here, and that gives us a triple, wide area for some rooms or something in there. So really what we're going to do next, I think, is from this cutoff point here, design everything forward. And then that, whatever we design here is going to get copied over on this side. And then down here from everything back, whatever's on this side gets copied over on this side once we're ready. Team Fiasco left a great comment, which was, I love it when a plan comes together first, he said. But he also said, why don't you start in the middle of the ship? Like, build a platform here. And I think it's kind of up to you where you want to start if you want to make a construction platform in case the ship, like basically this ship as it stands now is space worthy because of this. So if we need to leave, we can leave. And I recommend that for large designs that you're doing because at some point we're going to be like, oh crap, we're almost out of energy rods or water. We need to move. We need to find some trading partners. But for now, I'm just going to sit here. So we didn't even really need this if we were going to make it the whole way to a finished ship. However, the reason I built it in the back is so that it all is encompassed around the engines. This just makes it more efficient. If we had built in the middle, we'd have to put the engines somewhere. So we'd have to build a little corridor and a little space to put the engines where we wanted them. So right now, it's just like the engines are in their final spot. Nothing else is. Well, the airlock is maybe in its final spot as well. I quite like where the airlock is. So, I mean, really, we could copy that, over. But I was just going to start right here. And we need to make a call about the airlock. So I'm thinking that one thing we could do is have the airlock here, right? So this airlock is here. This airlock down here maybe is how we're going to drop prisoners off. So like maybe we'll have the prison complex here, and then mirroring it over here will be a refugee complex. And then we have an airlock, here, through which let's not allow trade. So I'm going to put the airlock here. And what it's going to do is connect... See, now that doesn't look very symmetrical. That does look a little more symmetrical, at least. So what we're going to do here is we're going to connect this up to... maybe this is our med bay right in here. And we're doing some design stuff that I really like in the streams. I don't know if you watch the streams, but if you do, please, consider watching them because you are missing out if not. Now, is this quite symmetrical? It's not, is it? It's not. But if we move it over 1, it just doesn't look as symmetrical. Come on, bring that up. But maybe we can get the... I just can't tell. Damn you, isometric whatever. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's symmetrical this way. Okay. So in those streams, I don't know if you watch the Space Haven streams, which I like to call Stream Haven. No, it's not symmetrical. There's no way around it. It's not going to be symmetrical, actually, is what I'm learning. There's simply no way... So it's just like I get to pick which one looks a little better. And I think... Let me just click on that. That looks kind of cool, to be honest. If we move this over 1... I'm so bad at this. Move it over 1, please. There. Oh, it's tough to tell. That one will have the ship a little further... Right, it's going to dock like that. So I think we should leave it... Yeah, let's leave it there. There we go. All right, so then if we're going to make this our med bay... Now, again, remember, we can always just... we can change this later. We can freak out and then undo it. I am noticing, I don't know how this is going to build. Am I going to cancel these and just leave it here? We're just going to dop down a few walls. We don't really need to, fully do the walls here. But I want to see how this animates. Because if it doesn't look very good, then we might want to consider, putting it right here on the edge or something. So let's get those built and then see what we're going to deal with here. So they're going to... Oh, yeah, right. Now, here's the thing. Because you can't pause construction... So is that what... Wait. Oh, that looks pretty good. That looks fine. That looks cool. I'm into that. Okay. So we got some windows here. We can put windows along here. Maybe we can get 2 long ones. 2 long boys coming right up. Yes. Correct. Very good. Now, does that actually line up? Looks like it does. Okay, great. Oh, we didn't need that wall there, but that actually kind of looks cool, doesn't it? It looks cool to have that little triangle there. Okay, let's do that over here. That's what I'm hoping to discover lots of this episode. Little things like that. Okay, so this is potentially going to be our med bay, which has a exclusive docking port right into it. Interesting. No, it shouldn't have an exclusive docking port. This should just be a bay, maybe. This is just a receiving bay with perhaps some kind of a concept. Like, what if we put in some sort of like a window here or something to like a screening area? I don't know why. I love it. I don't think it quite works because we got windows going in here, so you can't really put a wall up against a window. It'll like look weird. But yeah, this area could be anything like that. This could be a lot going on in this area. So I'm actually going to wall it off for now to give us an idea of the shape that we want in our ship. I have been encouraged and inspired by one of the Discord members here on Solid Content on our Discord. Get on the Discord. You're missing out if you aren't on it. To make some more cozy. I kind of want to go for cozier digs. Like right now, I'm kind of even thinking this area is too big. I'm gonna also make sure gotta make sure we've got room for a command area, because I know I want to put in I want to spread them out a little bit. I know I just said, you heard me just say what I wanted to do, but like, I kind of want them like here, like that. So that's going to be our command area. We're going to deal with that later. I think what we're going to need to do is design things. I wish you could put... Oh, you can put a line. Oh, I did not... Well, I was this many years old when I learned about how you could do that, so that's great. Okay, I'm going to write that down somewhere because I kind of want to start compiling an updated tips list that I think can help people. But we all know, we're all friends here, we all know that I'm not necessarily the best tips person. So feel free to toss in your comments your top tip. Give me your top tip in the comments. And we'll put it in. I think I want to challenge myself to do things like this, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a good idea. We'll see how it builds. We'll just see. We'll see what we think about it. Maybe we don't need that wall, though, or something? Like, how does this work? Would it be something like this? Could it go through triangle like that? Probably not, right? Okay. Let's put this here, then. No, because then that'll just do that weird triangle-y thing like that. I think you do need to not have these there. I'm just going to do that and see what happens, because we can always take this apart. But I was just thinking, like, is there a way we could make that rounded? I think that would look cool. Now, here's our command center. Here's our entry to this airlock. And we've got this hallway, which gives us a couple of rooms here. We might as well make this a room. Like, maybe... they're small. Like, I want to make them cozy, I think. That seems like a good size, though, maybe. Seems kind of big, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Then what I'd like to do is another Danny Webby special, and actually a lot of people, I think, do this. And I've done it sometimes, is, sorry, I hit the V key there, have little, like, utility closets. So those could even just be double wide, and we'll see what we can do with those. So this initial design here gives us a couple of rooms there. This hallway continues down. Now, if we want double wide hallways everywhere, that's going to be like this. And what is this? V2. So that's not ideal. That makes for some pretty small rooms in this space here. So I guess what that means that could be is maybe this could be some... utility closets or something like that. But what I want to do here is let's make sure we have... Oh, no, wait, no. Let's not put a hallway down to the bridge, because then that people that board us can dock, come out, and then, murder us. Hull stability has been achieved. Okay, so let's keep it 2 wide, double wide. We'll go out a little bit here. I'm being very arbitrary right now, just to kind of get a sense, because, like, the biggest problem, I think, with designing a new ship, especially if you have, like, a big layout like this, the biggest problem is the blank page problem. And that is to say, you have, you could just make any number of decisions. So you have to basically, the way I do it when I'm doing writing or something like that, is you basically just start making calls. And then at some point, you're going to be like, whoops, and then a design comes out of it. So I don't know if this little is going to work, but let's see if that works. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a utility closet, like right here, maybe. Okay, and let's get them to build these walls. We'll let them build this out. Disconstruct that. You heard me. Disconstruct is what I said. So this means, this is way too small for a med bay. But I think that that's a more efficient entrance than all the way down here. So I guess we should put the med bay over here somewhere or something. Maybe. Yeah, I guess the med bay can go like right here. So maybe we won't do an entirely symmetrical build. We'll just have to do a med bay somewhere. We could also do it along. We could have a long med bay, because if we had a long med bay on this side here, this side of the neck, then we could do, yeah, medical beds. But it'd be a very thin hospital. It could be all along here. So then when you get injured, you come into here and you go right there. Or do we put a medical bay? No, because, yeah, it'd be nice to have the medical bay somewhat central. I do think this airlock here is causing some movement problems. It's really compressed the front end of the ship, where we'd like to have a med bay. Now, if I put this over, if I move the airlock over here, like so. Then let's think about this. It looks like you could almost get. No, not really. Oh, that'd be awesome though if you could get double airlocks like that. Okay, so then you'd have to come around if we wanted the med bay right here. You'd have to like board and then walk all the way around, whereas this would be like board and then walk right over here. Or we put the med bay back here. So system engines are only about here. Now, I know we probably want engines and hull stabilizers and power generators all next to each other. And then, of course, we do have to be worried about the comfort level. So that needs to come out to at least 4 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be there. And that gives us a fair amount of space here. Yeah, this is like a you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to do here. So that gives us a fair amount of space to build a med bay. So we could have the med bay back here. Interesting. Although then, I mean, yeah, we might have to retool this so that you can actually get into the engine room. Because I kind of want a wall, like I almost want a hallway there. So we could have a med bay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have the med bay there. Okay. Then that gives us a little bit of, leeway to get away from the idea of having, like, we could have a door going right into the med bay from the airlock, because again, we're not worried about them going into directly seizing control of the control room, so to speak. So then this lets us have an engine room here and a hallway in this space. So I mean, you can't really complain about that, can you? You just can't. And then it also lets us do something that I'd like very much to do, which is to have this kind of area free around the front area. So our hallway could be here, then a central hallway down to the command area. Okay. You know what? That's what it is sometimes. Mistakes get made. One mistake could be dismantling these windows. I don't know if they've fixed that bug, but there was a bug with dismantling windows, so we're about to see if it crashes the game. And then we might have to dismantle these walls here. But hey, again, this is what I'm talking about. You start to put pen to paper, right? You start to fill in your idea. Then you start to see where it doesn't work. And by then you've started making decisions rather than just sitting here and thinking for like 6 hours about like what I want the general shape to be. You might as well just start going and then see what you learn along the way. All right, so as they're putting the finishing touches on this sort of, I would say this is the greeting area, right? Like maybe we have, foreign dignitaries come and board us here, as well as the odd pirate. So of course there'll be a nice large set of doors at either end, but then also we'll maybe take and dismantle these walls. Yeah, stop doing that. Because we'll put some windows here next to those double doors, and that will let people at least see who's on the inside there and control that sort of flow. Then we'll do, into our med bay, and then we should have another entrance to the med bay, but I don't want to do 2 entrances because then they'll start to treat this like a hallway. I mean, they're already going to treat this like a hallway, so I kind of want to keep the cross flow, especially down in the medical bay, to a minimum. But as we learned in the previous thing, one thing I like to do, and I think it's going to look really awesome. So let's just arbitrarily pick this side to be sealed off, right? So this side is going to have, I don't know how much room it needs for this. Life support facility. Oh, it's food. I always forget that it's food, and that's gross. Okay. So yeah, it won't fit there unless we move this over 1. So yes, this is going to be our autopsy area. This is our surgery theater. All right, you can look in through there and see the surgery going on. This is a very big use of space, though. I'm not sure if this is like the best, use of our space in here. And then normally what I've done in Streamhaven is we put a research table in there, which does look, pretty good. There's nothing left for them to research. There's no point in research tables anymore. But, they just look so good. Although it doesn't fit there, does it? It certainly does not fit there anymore. Unless we moved this whole structure around. So what if we did wall, big triple window? Doesn't need to be a triple window, does it? No, certainly not. Wall, a door that opens right into the surgery area, which I don't know. I think that's fine. And then facility, research lab right there. Now, does that look pretty amazing? Yeah, you better believe that looks amazing. But how many folks can we fit in this area here? Now, if we go with med bay, medical bed like here and here, then we could just do one single door. Okay, fine. One there, here, and here. Okay, that's pretty good. However, doesn't leave us much storage space. So if we did away with one of these, we could get some storage in here. We could do away with this one, but then that's not that many med beds, is it, in our little medical bay? I mean, we could make it wider. We could make this, we don't need this luxurious surgery area that we're not going to use with a research area that we're also not going to use. And for a Dreadnought, maybe this seems like a pretty small surgery, place, medical bay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce these just down to the bare minimum so we can get it built at least. We'll just put a door here, and we'll get that kind of built out. We're going to leave it for a bit. We're going to come back to that and see if we have better ideas in the future. And we'll get those dismantled, and we'll get a door on that. Okay, so that's coming along there. Now what I've done here is I've instead of having that little room, which I thought I was going to keep, we're going to have our main hallway, which is a triple wide hallway. That is a luxurious amount of space being left open. So we're going to have a triple wide hallway, which I think you could actually do something like we can move this wall there, which I don't know if it's worth moving walls. Put this one here. And then we can move these guys. We'll delete all these fellas. And then we're going to come down here. There we go. So that gives us our triple wide hallway down here. Now, I'm just trying to think. I think we should put another room here. That's probably going to need to be a, what do you call it, a utility room. But that gives us an idea of where we want our triple wide hallway to go. And it also gives me a fun idea for, oh, I see why we did that with the 2. Okay, that's good to know. So now the triple wide hallway could fall down to a double wide in this area here, which gives us, a lot more, space to live. Space haven. There, something like that. Now, what this has done is given me a whole bunch of rooms right here, which I'm, pretty excited about. And I did away with that little, diagonal thing, I think you can see, because I tried it a few different ways, and it doesn't quite go diagonal. Like the hull, it just kind of does a little step thing. I don't know how I could figure out a way to make that go diagonal. Now, the important thing here is going to be to get our power distribution done and all the necessaries and the lighting and stuff, and then look for little spots where we can have internal windows so that we can keep the luxury on this ship, nice and high. One thing I was also going to do, maybe, I think, is add in a few rooms. Hear me out on this. Don't get too mad. That are not useful. Rooms that are so for example, off of the command deck, you know what I would love to have? an officer's lounge, right? This could be the officer's sort of like we'll put like we're gonna do this. We're gonna put like, you know, a table, you know, right here or something like that, and have like a chair at it. I think that's, I'd almost like it to be a little bigger. So what if this wall actually did something like that? Okay. And then came out a little further like so. That gives us all this space to work with. And I think what we could do here is have apartments and maybe a utility kind of chamber right here. Let's move that over there like so. And let's put a closed off window here. So the idea is as you walk down this corridor to get to the command center, like, of course, that's, you know, if we're being boarded, that's going to be a very intense area. That's going to be very fraught. And so there's going to be a number of spots where you can go and kind of like, we could have crew from here. They can double into these chambers here, then pop out on the soldiers trying to breach and get into our command sector. The idea behind that being, we don't want people to get trapped down a hole. You don't want people stuck down here with nowhere to go. So that's what these little extra rooms are going to be. I think that's like a pretty sizable utility closet. That actually might be too big. And then this is a pretty decent little like room. I'm not sure what this room is going to be. What we need to think about is not just designing silly, useless things, but we need to start thinking about like, okay, where does all the food get grown? You know what I mean? So let's block all this out a little bit more. I think mostly it's going to be apartments down in this area, isn't it? Let's block all this out a bit more and see what we can do. Now, I was initially going to have the food production up front, but I was like, this is some prime real estate for some beautiful window views, you know, facing forward of whatever's going on. And we don't really want to have food production near this area that could get hit by missiles, incoming debris, stuff like that. I don't know. I guess I just want people eating their lunch there in those dangerous spots. Look, a spaceship is dangerous no matter where you put it. But I think my initial idea for the design here would be, yeah, okay, if I'd done the math right, we should be able to get a decent amount of... Wait, hang on. If I do this... What am I thinking here? What was I thinking? If I do food production like so, I should be able to get... Oh, yeah, okay. One here and there. This one looks a little silly. Didn't place that in the right spot. Okay, so there's a bit of a steppage going on. But that's okay because maybe we could fit some, like a grow bed in here. Something like that. And then this wall should come out about there. And I think that's enough room. Yeah, okay, so this feels about right. Now, what this does, if I enclose that, is it gives me a bit of space to have a number of things. Other grow beds, of course. Yep, okay, good. And also, there's plenty of room in here for a storage, which is going to become very important as this ship gets very large. So we can put some storage right there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that doesn't impede anybody's movement around there. So that's good. We could put storage right there. Then we could put some life support. What do I want to put here? Gas scrubber. No, CO2 generator right here. We could also have a water collector. I think that's resource, isn't it? There it is, water collector. And then another food grow bed right there. Can we get another one? Oh, no. Okay. All right, we're definitely, like, pressing our luck a little bit here. Trying to shove a lot in this space. Then I wonder if we could get some storage right here. Because if we can do things like that, if we can get storage, if we can use... I mean, the goal here, you know you've done it right if you've used every little spot. And we kind of haven't fully done that here. We could get a little more storage in here, but I don't... Oh, okay, there we go. That's feeling very nicely packed in there. That's got everything we need. Now, I am going to let that build because, I don't know, that was hard to remember where that is. So that's kind of like our, here, let me click on something else there so we can bring this up. So that's kind of like our very compact grow room. I feel like that's pretty good. And I think then what I'd like to do is put some solar panels maybe here and here or something. The solar panels then feed a battery and a utility closet nearby. And that utility closet's job is to be ready with full battery if like a micrometeoroid or whatever happens that cuts power to the rest of the ship. Boom, our food has no problems. We have a CO2 generator, and there's a little bit of space down here for even more food production. Now, here's the thing about food production we need to talk about. Is this going to be enough? My prediction? No. So, why, do you ask, am I doing this? Well, we're going to double it up so we have redundant food production, so we'll have the same thing on this side as well. Takes up a lot of room. We might make it a little smaller on the other side. Is this still going to be enough food production to feed this entire crew? Also, no. Might have to put some bedrooms along here, I think, too. But that's good because we'll use more of the window space for nice bedrooms. And then we can have, we have so much space back here for our prisons, of course, and our camps and whatnot, but also for industry. We got plenty of room. However, I think, as we look over at this ship, a couple of realities about the number of crew that we have. Reality number one is it is going to be an insane amount of water use to make enough food that they can all happily eat. Right now, we're consuming almost 14 sometimes. On a bad day, we're consuming 14. On a good day, 11, maybe 12 water a day. And here's the thing. We've got oxygen producers. We've got algae producers. That's it. That's all we have. And we're using 12 a day. If we have enough food production for all of these people, we're going to be going through, I don't know, hundreds, maybe even a day. So I think it's going to be a combination of algae and a combination of the good food, right? The dream is that every other meal or every third meal they have is a good meal. I don't know if I can make that happen. You can't program who's allowed to eat. But now that I'm even talking out loud, which is how you tend to talk, I'm starting to get a little freaked out by the amount of grow operation I already have. What if I downsize it a little bit, knowing I'm going to have the same thing over here? Although then that's only 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, then there's just no chance in heck of feeding these people. So I think, okay, we'll keep it for now as is, and we'll see how much water we're going through before we need to power up the algae dispensers again. Because that plus that could be a decent amount of food growth. I'm not sure yet. All right, so then we'll have a door access there. We can also have a door access. We could move this CO2 producer over to here. And that gives us another door access right here. Let's get those doors in there. Now, I am going to let this build, like I said, because we kind of want this to get a chance to get established. And then I also want to use this as the template for how to do the other ones. Put another door in there just for good measure. Or no, let's not put another door in there. So then that's going to go into this, our small but mighty little canteen here. I'm also thinking about this space here. These utility closets are actually too close together. The utility closets should rather be that space. Because that puts everything just a little further away. We've got a utility closet here and here. So I think that'll work. So we'll do some utility closets here. There we are. Now I think we need to rough in the rest of this. I know I want to put a weapon there. So we could even rough that out, but we kind of know the shape of that. And I want to make sure we get this filled in. As you can see, I've gone down to double wide hallways. So if we carry this along, what are we dealing with here? So we could have another double wide hallway go down there. Now, does that connect to anything we want to put a window on? You know what I mean? I don't want to put a window there, don't we? You know what we could do is have, we could do away with and have just a single hallway, which is a very narrow hallway, isn't it? But maybe that's just to get to a couple of corner units. A couple of corner suites. So if we bring that across, like, what does that give us as far as space? Look at that little thing. Okay, so then what we could do is put a little, like, thing in there and come across to there. Now, these folks aren't going to have any windows. That's the only problem, but that could be another utility closet right there. And we kind of want to make sure that I get... Yeah, I kind of want windows wherever I can have them. And there's one there, I think. So this little apartment's going to have one window. Not bad. The construction continues apace, and things are going fairly well. I think I might, like, dismantle these for now. I basically put this engine in so I could kind of remind myself where the center point is. Maybe we'll just take these two away so we don't waste too much time here. And then, you know what I said to myself? What if, in designing all these apartments here, these rooms, we let the windows inform our placement? So anywhere where there was this little kink right here, I dragged a wall down just to kind of see what I would get. What would I get if I did that? And sure enough, I got this fanciful little design here. You can see the walls all being dragged down, so they're going to create those little triangle points there, which I quite like. But leave a nice flat piece for the wall. And then I was like, oh, well, then there's this little room here, which fits 2 toilets back to back. Yes, you will be looking right at your buddy while you do your business. But that creates a little toilet right there. Then there's this little apartment here, this long kind of apartment, very luxurious apartment, and a tiny little apartment, or probably another utility closet. So we have one here, one down here. I don't know if those will connect, like if we could put a power node there. And then one over here. We might have to put one here or something like that. At some point, I think we will use wall nodes to get our power, going. But this area is certainly going to need some oxygen generation. So using this as our little template, I want to see how much stuff we can jam into one of these. So let's say it's a 2x4, which, you know, you should be able to fit a fairly good amount of some things. Like we could get an oxygen generator and a gas scrubber. And what else could we get? Do you know what I mean? The gas scrubber isn't as important. And now if you're looking, like, can't really get the gas scrubber in with this. Another thing I was thinking would be kind of great to be able to fit in here would be, which is very large, would be this thing, a spacesuit locker. Now, that's going to kill off this space here. So that's not very perfect. That's you heard me, that's not very perfect. But if we did something like this, we could also delete this and then have... where does this become a little pinch? Yeah, it's kind of tough, right? Because it's... I mean, we could do this. And then leave there, something like that. I feel like that gives this little room... I'm not sure what I would put in there. A little jukebox or something there, but that actually might create a little pinch point and not be accessible. So let's back up here and do the walls back the way they were. Yes, so that kind of makes the most sense for this. This apartment's going to be tough. But what else would we want in there? We'd want like a power node, yes. So we could put this here. We could put this airlock if we wanted to keep trying to make this happen. Right there. So then you walk down here to get to that. But that doesn't really give you anything else like power node. We could also do, yeah, power node and a gas scrubber right there. So that's a fairly efficient little utility closet, if you ask me. Now, the comfort rating could be an issue. I think it'll bleed through the walls, unfortunately. So we do have another one here, which I guess we want to dismantle one of those and then see what we can get in here. We probably need another oxygen generator and a power node. Are we close to having like a... almost. Almost. So if I switched... what would that get me? Would that get me one? So I can put a small window in here. Or, yeah, so small window in there, and then this will have to not have a window in it, which is kind of a bummer. If we move this over one and create a tiny little 1, 2... oh, yeah, there, I guess. Okay. So here's a utility closet again. And now it has a power node that can actually connect. See, it could have almost there. It's just that that's where the wall needs to go, isn't it? So what about something like this? Hear me out here, folks. This is all in the name of getting that window. I just want this window so bad. Okay, then we move this over. All right. And then we have this tiny little space in here for something else. Another oxygen generator, maybe? Life support. It's not going to fit, obviously. We could put a gas scrubber in here. But you know what else we could do? This would be perfect. Boom. Spacesuit locker right there. Oh, it's perfect. Look at that compact little utility closet right there. So now these two power nodes actually connect to each other. If that's good or bad, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It would be great to get power nodes of that strength all throughout this whole thing. But yeah, like so close to making that match. We could put it in there. Oh, so close to getting to this other utility closet, aren't we? We could go to a wall node and then step back up to a power node. A lot of options here. But at any rate, I do think in the spirit of making calls, we could put some doors in here with some windows, and we can call this a design. I'm looking very forward to decorating, quite frankly, these apartments. Now, in here, we could do, we'll have some double doors, and this is a fairly small, a fairly Spartan, if you will, food area. But I'm thinking if we could make maybe 3 of these, so we could have this one here. We could have another one elsewhere. This could actually be a nice little space, and I want to go a little more compact with it. Just like my, one of the subscribers over there, Mr. Danny Webby. Excellent design work by him. And I want to copy it and take it for my own. So this could have like a little table in there. You're probably not going to be able to walk there, are you? Okay, so let's shrink our expectations down just a little bit. Now, let's also not forget, at the end of all this, we're still going to have to light it. There we go, and a little jukebox in there. So at any given time, I think we could feed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gets that chunk. Okay, so yeah, this one is probably a little too small, and we might not be able to do like a fully symmetrical design on both sides, just because we're going to need a lot more room than I think. So this is coming along quite nicely, though. I like the way these apartments are looking. I kind of want to see all this get built out. I think I might even let this build just to see what's up. And then I think we can't put one there, but I could put an arcade machine right here in the corner. Then that leaves that area open for light. We can slap some lights right there as well, and here and around there. This area leaves something to be desired. We can put a light here, I think, so this area might get a little dim, but we'll see as the building goes in. So here's my sort of first attempt at building out the front section of the Lotus. Now, is this a small little area? Yes, I think so. We'll copy it on this side, but who knows? Like maybe back here we're going to have way more living space. And our industry will be back there as well. I think splitting it up is going to provide us a couple of great opportunities for spreading out our crew and making logistics just feel a little more accessible. Now in this area, I'm thinking energy turrets. Twin energy turrets in this spot here. Right over here. And over there. I love it. And we don't even need windows right there. We're going to need windows. Do I have a window going in here? No. Okay, they're going to need a window because right now they have nothing. And yes, is a very important part of the game to me. Getting in those windows. All right, now this guy can have a nice 3B. We'll get a twofer. And then this looks like another 3-boy right here. Well, see, now that's how you know you've got a great ship, when you can see that many windows going in. All right, so this little area here is going to hold on to our weapons system. Now, something I realized is we have an energy turret right here. Storage-wise, I kind of want this power node to stay here, but I could actually put it over there as long as I then kind of move these batteries elsewhere. Where would I put these batteries, actually? Here, they can still get around to that, so that works. We can put one battery there. What I could do here is use this space, which is 3 dots of space, and I could have some storage right here, wherein I place some tools or whatever is needed for the energy turret, right? So we could have our energy cells stored right here. One advantage we have right now is this whole area has 0 oxygen. So what I could do is close the vent to this, and this whole room would be sort of airtight. Now, eventually, I think oxygen would bleed into it as people came and went from this space to either service the weapon or to put out any fires or whatever if they came here. But hopefully, no fires would really, accrue. So that's kind of this is my thinking with this area, and this still, of course, connects up to our power grid, and then I think there's going to be plenty of room here where the battery can feed into a floor node, and then what we do is we take our floor nodes, and we would actually, let's see if I can find one here. I mean, you can do it with anything, but we take this power node here and drop the range down to 0, which would mean it would only power anything on its own square, so itself. And that is a way that you can actually make a power conduit, something that we learned during Stream Haven. Another great tip, I think, to add to this thing. I'm not sure where we could put one. We could put one there once that's built, or really right at this door. That connects up to the battery, and then goes down the hallway if it needs to, and then right into this space here. One there, and then we have nice, clean, secondary coverage from the solar panels into our growing area. What I might do, though, is meter that so that it comes down here in floor nodes, and then from that floor node, it could, as you can see right there, it could connect right back up to this, which would then feed all of these solar panels onto the main grid. But if there's a power failure, don't worry, because all those solar panels get fed through the food area before they try to get to the rest of the grid. So that gives you the dual advantage of being able to feed all that power onto the main grid, but also have it go to the food area first. Now, as for some of these apartments, I'm thinking right off the bat that maybe this one needs to be like, I don't know, one of these. It needs to be like a... Can people get to that? Oh, yeah, they can. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this area needs to be a bit more of a barracks. So we can have 4 people sit in here and then give them a nice, like, comfortable living space. You know what I mean? Like a real comforty situation. So let's make sure we get them. Do they have their window? Yes, they do have their window. It's under construction. It's not done yet, but that's all right. And I think, yeah, we just want to make this, like, pretty comfortable in here because I think people will spend a lot of time in here. I don't know about you guys, but I would definitely not mind staying in that little room. Now, this room here, I think, and maybe a lot of the other ones, are going to be solo rooms for our extra hard-working crew members. And I think it'll be a matter of, like, oh, how did you perform? Okay, you will earn a room. You know, if we do a particularly nasty away mission, or if something catches fire that we don't feel good about, well, that's when we'll lean on these folks and the promise of having an upgraded room if they perform well. If only I could tell them. If only I could get into the game's code and just be like, listen, this is what, you know, don't you want a nice room? There's something about just putting a table and chair right near a window like that, right in that corner, that just like, oh, just tickles me pink. Now, this person, I don't know if there's not quite enough room, because we're probably going to have to get a light in here as well. There's not quite enough room to get much else in there. Same goes for this extremely Spartan existence. But I think maybe, like, honestly, even something as simple as this, with a little chair right here. Oh my goodness, we can even put a chair right there. Then they can have lights all along here. I think maybe this person, though, deserves a small arcade machine. Yeah, they've worked hard. That's a tiny little room. They've got a desk and a chair. They've got their bed right by the window. Their life is going good. Now, this one, it's almost perfect for, like, a bed right there. Feeling pretty good about that. And we'll get a chair in the corner here. We could probably get away with doing both, because I think they can still access the bed that way. And then a little something nice to do, a little jukebox in the corner. The crew works diligently to bring about my... Oh no, we got a fire. They are regularly starting fires there. That's fine. They work diligently to bring about the vision that I have for this little area. I think it's good. I'm looking forward to your tips and tricks that you might want to add to this. But I think we've shoved a lot of little rooms in here. I really like how this has turned out. I am going to save this area for later. Once we're closer to done the ship, I want to kind of like think about what's left and what we want to design in this space. But I believe we've got at least a couple of power nodes in there. And then we have a third one going in here, which doesn't quite link up to that one, but that's okay. We'll figure that out in a bit. But things are coming along quite nicely in here, and it's just a matter of, I think the best thing to do, really, especially this area here, this little complex design, is to copy it on the other side, and then basically just kind of copy and paste, which I wish I could do, out the rest of it. Storage of food will be given to here, and then that will supply the nearby kitchens. And then I think logistics bots will take it down to the further kitchens towards the back, which will be larger, of course. Now, some other things that I want to do is I want to build out the back with like some robot bays. I think will be really fun. And one thing I immediately want to do here after watching people go back and forth is like, this is a Dreadnought class ship. Okay, so what is it doing with like a med bay this small? So I kind of want to see, like, what are my options here? If I bring this wall forward. Okay, what if, hear me out, what if this, right, is the size of the med bay? And this is how you get into this part of the hallway here, right? So there's windows there. Then there could be, we could have a double door, and we could still do the glass. So we could do something like this glass right here, and another double door right there. And then the same thing on this end. So we have a double door pop out. Then the wall. Here. Window. Double door. Now, that gets us down these hallways. But then the back, then that gets us to this hallway here, which goes around there. And then that gives us much more space for our burgeoning med bay here. So we're going to delete this and see what that gets us. Because I think at the very least we can now move this the surgery area back and move all that back a little bit and have a much nicer sized med bay. That's going to feel a lot more professional and like it can handle a lot more casualties, you know, than this smaller one here. So that's going to feel a little more like a Dreadnought style med bay in my humble opinion. Well, I think through the magic of video editing, I'm going to get the rest of this now copied over onto this side here. And let's see how that builds out and what it looks like. The construction drop-off point is abuzz with activity as people come in and out. Now, he doesn't have very much O2, so I wonder if these spacesuit things... Yeah, they need to build up O2. So that is a problem. We almost need to, like, force them to go use this one so their suits have more oxygen. I don't know if you've noticed throughout this video, but keeping an eye on their health has become very important. It's become a very tough job, to say the least, because people are passing out, running out of oxygen while doing this. I'm not even sure if this is the best way to build a large ship. Leave a comment if you think you have a better way of doing this, because, yeah, it is kind of like, for these folks, except for Marie, who's apparently just taking a break on this couch in her spacesuit. Nobody can see her. She loves it there. But for folks, for the rest of them, it is kind of like working in the coal mines. Lyson here is like he almost didn't make it. He got some O2, so that's good. His stamina was basically bottoming out. So I'm constantly just keeping an eye on this because I've saved a few people from potentially a certain death. Now, we've got a bit more of this built here, but as you can see, the real victory is the copying of this other space. Oh, it looks like I finished a couple, or missed a couple apartments over there, so we'll get that done. But there's plenty of work for them to do while we design those. I changed things up a little bit here. Namely, I made this a little more nice looking and then kind of copied that design over here. So things are a little more organized in this solar panel sort of weapons bay area. I think maybe I should like stop building some of this stuff. It's going to take some hull. I don't know. It just takes a lot of We have a lot of supplies, but it just takes a lot of supplies to keep running. Thankfully, the androids are on the way in. Hopefully, they'll have something to trade with us. Some of the trades have been fairly scant so far, which kind of is giving me this idea that, I don't know, not like the universe. Maybe this area is giving me the cold shoulder. I don't know. I feel like moving on is going to have to be something we're going to have to consider soon. But there you have it, the nose, if you will, of the Lotus is now in a state of nearing completion, I would say. Food from logistics bots can be shipped throughout the back aft sections of the ship. You know, you heard me, the back aft sections. And from there, I think, yeah, that will feed our refugees. And our prisoners, they'll just eat algae. But we'll also have some nice industrial areas here. Please leave a comment if you think you know what to do with this space. I don't necessarily want to make this a docking port for, like, you know, items, but I'm thinking we could at least have, a bunch of robot bays in here, or if we wanted to, we could flex and leave this open. Do you know what I mean? As a grand entrance place where we would meet dignitaries. We could put friggin' furniture in here, maybe. I almost kind of want to just show just how big this Dreadnought is and how much extra room we have. Really just stretch and enjoy it. In the meantime, I think we could also design this little sucker a bit more. Like we could put something there. We could put beds all along here even. Oh, that's so many beds. Are you kidding me? We could get one. Yes, we could get a whole other bed there. We could get some beds here. And I think we can get that research lab right there. We don't have to worry about that right now. We'll move all that. And I think that means there's room for storage of medical supplies, at least 50 here. We can put some other stuff in there to kind of make sure that everyone's happy with that. But I think that's a much better med bay than before. That seems a little more, I don't know, up to snuff, you should say. And then once we're in a good spot, I'll take apart some more of this. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Somebody's down for the count. Babyface is okay now. He's in here. The O2 in this area is down. I've had to add another O2 generator because of the amount of traffic through this. The amount of oxygen they're pulling out it's getting pretty intense in here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that and not let Babyface die. I almost want to shorten the work shifts or something. Maybe I could do something like that. But all in all, this is starting to look pretty nice in here. I would have loved to have been able to finish the entire ship in this episode, but folks, I have to work. I do not have enough time to finish this entire ship and a video on time. So we'll have to consider this the nose job of the Lotus. And if you are truly devoted to the Lotus's process, then I will see you all in the butt job of the Lotus. Or the Yoda, or the Danger Moth, whatever you want to call this ship. What I want to call it is space-worthy, and she is almost there. I hope you found this episode to be some truly solid content. Let's check in with Captain Annie. She's back aboard the Moving On Up, having coffee. She's sweating a little bit, so is the creator of this video, as to whether or not we are actually really going to like how this Lotus turns out. Does it feel like home in the end? This place has really grown to feel like home a little bit, but there's still a lot to get done. Can we get there with this vessel? Captain Annie wonders. But then she remembers the crew she has. She remembers Babyface, and she remembers, Gerard Butler and Dr. Thumbs, and she remembers the team that she started this adventure with, and remembers how much of a family they all are. Hopefully you found this to be some solid content. And we'll see you all in the next, and hopefully the final design episode of the Lotus. We'll see you then. Yes, eat your algae. Enjoy your algae, Captain Annie. Now go have a sleep. You earned it.